Okay, I'm live, and I don't know whether anybody else is going to be able to see this, but it's definitely going live, and it's a new stream. Unfortunately, the last one booked itself. I'm going to have to really. I've got a couple of ideas what went wrong. One of which is my antivirus detected the stream as something wrong and triggered that, which is less than wonderful. But I am on a new live stream, and I'm going to put something into the um, the community tab to try to help people out with this because it's driving me mad. Let's see, community. Let's have a look here. Yep, there are two people on there. So thanks for finding the stream, two people who've come back on board. And yeah, sorry about that. I really apologize. Hi, Bended. How you doing? But yeah, so we'll see how we go with this. Technology. It probably is my antivirus. So I'm going to have to change the antivirus I use because that's not something that I think should happen on a live stream, and it messes me up. It messes the business up. So we'll see how we go. And it looks like more people are coming onto the live stream, which is good. We'll work from there. Okay, so I'll just continue. I watched. Hi, Dick. How you doing? Didn't get a notification when you're doing a live stream until now. That's strange because I did have a live stream going and then it shut itself. And I'm back onto the live stream. So you'll see two live streams if you go back into the history on the channel. This one I bought at the same time I bought To Catch a Thief. And it's a Ralph Nelson film, a Western, which I'm told is very violent for a Western of its time. It's a thing called Soul Blue, which has Candice Bergen, Peter Strauss, Donald Pleasance, and John Anderson in it. Haven't seen this, but I kept hearing for a long time how violent this Western is. And it's odd that it came out on 4K here in Australia because it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that a mainstream lot would put out on 4K here. And the weird thing about it is it's got the censorship classifications for England and Europe on the disc itself. So that's a little bit of an odd thing. What have we missed? Lots of things because I was going for about 48 minutes. Sorry, for about 35 minutes. But lots of stuff. You can watch the other live stream, which will be now live and archived on the channel. But did an in memoriam, talked about Cinemaniacs that I went and saw a movie at. Lots of things there. We've got 8 people, so people are slowly finding the new live stream, which is good. And I can understand where people say you should use Linux. I'll stick with Windows on this machine because there's so much that I use, particularly my editing software, which is Windows only. There isn't a Linux version of Filmora that I can use for the editing. But yeah, so people who have rejoined the live stream, and I've got 10 people now, just give me a shout out and tell me you found the new live stream so I know with whom I'm talking. So, yep, yeah, Soldier Blue, To Catch a Thief. I did pick up the third in the Maxine Minx trilogy. Ty West's middle-aged good girls there now. Ty West's movie trilogy has started out with X and Pearl. So I've got a copy of Maxine on Blu-ray. There wasn't a 4K option. I'm not sure I would upgrade to 4K because I've got Pearl on DVD and I've got X on Blu-ray. So I picked that up. Hi, Franny. Thank you for finding the new live stream, and hopefully it won't die in the ass this time around. So I got that. Glad I got the trilogy. I like them. Maxine, I think I like slightly less than the other two, but still not too bad. Dick says, had some buffering and sound loss at the beginning to finding this one. Yep, what a kerfuffle, middle-aged geek girl. It's not good. Evil Pixie says, "Hi there, my cat is missing the buffering circle." Well, you can always put up I'm sure there's a YouTube video somewhere of like 55 hours of buffering circle you could put on for the cat later. There's a YouTube channel for everything. The other things I got this for $1, which I think is a good buy. I've actually got two of the movies, but I don't have the other one, so I picked it up anyway. Kind of romantic movies of the 1950s. An Affair to Remember, Love is a Many Splendid Thing, and The King and I. I've got The King and I and The Affair to Remember already, but I didn't have Love is a Many Splendid Thing, so I got that. They're on individual discs, which is useful. But I thought I'd get those. I don't mind an occasional romantic drama from the 1950s. They're usually beautifully made, particularly the studio ones. King and I is not my favorite musical. Roger says, "Nice to see you moving." I'm not moving. I mean, I'm happy where I live. I know what you mean, but yeah, nightmarish stuff. And I'm going to definitely change my antivirus after we finish this live stream because it sucks. And I don't want that to recur, of course, particularly on the New Year's Eve live stream. I really want that to be a banger. And so the 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. New Year's Eve live stream is going to be fun. Franny says An Affair to Remember is a great movie. It is. And I remember when I went to the top of the Empire State Building, that's the one movie I thought of, apart from King Kong, when I was at the top of the Empire State Building, was An Affair to Remember, because of course it is in the movie. But nice to get those ones. And An Affair to Remember isn't that difficult to find here in Australia. But Love is a Many Splendid Thing is slightly more difficult to find. How do I know it was the antivirus? The reason I think it might be the antivirus middle-aged geek girl is I got a pop-up from the antivirus saying it blocked some suspicious connections, and I think it triggered the stream, and that is not something I want to continue. Of course, I'm running a business here. Here's some other things I've got. Great musical from the 1940s, 1946, I think. On the Town. Frank Sinatra, Gene Kelly, Betty Garrett, Ann Miller. One of the classic musicals. Didn't have a copy of On the Town. I did check. Franny says she saw the DVD compilation in the CEX store downstairs. Cool. But yeah, so On the Town, beautiful musical. This one, I think it's Stanley Donen. Yes, it is Stanley Donen. Directed by Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen. First musical, really, to be filmed partly on this location on the streets of New York. A classic. I'm glad I got it in the collection now. It is on DVD, so it's not like 4K or Blu-ray, but I don't particularly mind that. It's in the old Academy ratio, so it doesn't matter that much. Franny says that one's on my need to get list. Yeah, I'm On the Town. Classic, and I love it. Yeah, I may well watch it in January. I'm not sure what I'm doing for the rest of the month, apart from rewatching Die Hard on 4K. Yeah, Peter, we're back. We're doing stuff. Yeah, sorry about the glitches, people, but that antivirus is going to be history. Hi, Colgers. Hey, like Jerry, my son and I had a great time last night watching Sonny Chiba on my recommendation. So I just wanted to say thanks for the tip. All the best from Latvia and keep up the great work. Thank you. And stay warm in Latvia. It's fraught times around your part of the world. So, look after yourself, definitely. Roger says, you piqued my interest with your science fiction Saturday picks a new of Eastern Europeans' first spaceship to Venus, but didn't know about the bubble and in 3D, but not available in the UK. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I know. If you look up the Silent Star on YouTube, you'll find the first spaceship on Venus in the good version. And I would recommend that. Don't bother with any of the American cut down versions that were done by cheap ass distributors back in the day. There are some really woeful prints of first spaceship on Venus around there. And that was the first version of it I got, was a truly shitty print of it. Friday says, 1st of December, so Die Hard has been watched as the opener to my Christmas movie season. Good, Friday. Last year, I watched Die Hard in the cinema because the local Reading cinema had an evening session of Die Hard on the big screen. And I'd never seen Die Hard on the big screen up until then because First time I saw it was on VHS, and I did a whole. If you look up Die Hard on the channel, I did a whole thing about how I won $500 watching Die Hard back in 1989. And Friday says Disney lists Die Hard as a Christmas movie. Hi, Cinema Dave. How you doing? People should check out Cinema Dave's channel as well. Does a lot of movie stuff, and also he and his band. Him and his mate have a band, and they're doing their own Christmas song soon. So looking forward to that, Dave. And thanks for joining us, mate. And hi to you and Jesse. The last movie I got in my haul, and by the way, I've got a whole bunch of Black Friday things I've ordered that haven't arrived yet. And I will do a haul video about some really freaky stuff that I've picked up for the Black Friday sales. This one's one of the kitchen sink English dramas from the 1960s. A Taste of Honey. Picked up a copy of that. This one's a little hard to find, so I'm very happy I got a copy of it. Rita Tushingham, directed by Tony Richardson, screenplay by Sheila Delaney based on her play. This is one of the first UK movies that was gay positive because Murray Melville plays a character who befriends Rita Tushingham's character when she's pregnant. And it's one of the first really positive portrayals of a gay character in an English drama. So I'm glad I got that. I think it's an important film to have. Got that free with The Guardian, says Franny. Was that The Taste of Honey? Because, yeah, it's a solid movie. I remember I saw it on late night TV when I was a callow teenager. And it's one of those movies that started me on that kind of LGBTQIA plus positivity because I grew up in an incredibly homophobic milieu in the western suburbs of Sydney. Everybody I know was a total hater, and that was the culture I grew up in. And I went on a journey of having a more positive viewpoint, partly because of movies and partly because I got out in the world and met people. Roger says, already started with the Christmas movies. 1950 Scrooge, is that the one with Alastair Sim? And the original Miracle on 34th Street? You'll believe that, like US Post Office, Kris Kringle is Santa. Yeah, I kind of don't mind Miracle on 34th Street, but my go-to Christmas movies are the transgressive ones. A very Harold and Kumar Christmas. Die Hard, of course. What else is a good Christmas movie for you? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. That's another Christmas movie. Yeah. Gremlins and The Nightmare Before Christmas must be watched too. We've got Gremlins and Middle Aged Geek Girl, so you can always watch that. Ben Ed says, this week I watched Fall Guy, Day of the Animals, which I love. Leslie Nielsen going mad in Wrestling a Bear. Long Legs, The Conformist, and The Substance. Long Kiss Goodnight, Evil Pixie 96. Absolutely. Long Kiss Goodnight is fantastic. Hi, Lee. How you doing? Invasion USA is a Crimbo movie, says Adam. Which version? The original version or the one with Chuck Norris? Never understood the love of Chuck Norris particularly. He wasn't a good actor. And I first encountered Chuck Norris when he was killed by Bruce Lee in the Colosseum in May of the Dragon. Okay, it's Norris. Yeah, he's bland. He could not act his way out of a parking ticket. I mean, really bad. The other thing I got, by the way, at the op shop, and middle-aged geek girl and I checked that we didn't already have it. And this one is very salient for current conditions. I actually got a PS4 game, Wolfenstein: The New Order. I picked up that for, I think, $3 or something. It is a PS4 game, but I thought I should pick up more games where you kill Nazis because I think it's you're putting your flag up on the mast when you play games. Yeah, it was an EB game, sorry, but it didn't cost very much. But yeah, killing Nazis is always a good thing. Friday says, jingle all the way, the debate continues, mediocrity, cash and comedy, or genius, satirical commentary on capitalism. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't watched Jingle All the Way for a long time. But yeah, I can see it being a Christmas movie. But, I mean, still your ultimate Christmas movie is Die Hard. I mean, you can't argue the point there. I think canonically, it's become a Christmas movie now, 100%. And sorry, what? Yeah, like a middle-aged geek says, we did get it at EB Games, but I should put that into the PS4, which I've got underneath this computer monitor now. I've got this set up where there's this screen, which is the computer with the camera above it. Camera, hang on, camera, and I've got the mic hooked up. But next to it, I've got my Samsung TV hooked up to the PlayStation. So, and I use the PlayStation mostly if I want to watch a Blu-ray or a DVD and the disc setup rather than going in the other room. So yeah, I might kill some Nazis later. Bad Santa says Bed. Not that keen on Billy Bob Thornton. I think he's a very mannered actor. I don't particularly like him. Friday says I discovered there's a second Jingle All the Way. I don't think I want to brave that one though. Fair enough. Middle-aged Geek Girl says she watched The Ritual and Demonic on Netflix. That's very on brand for you, Middle-aged Geek Girl. Hi, Dave. Yep. The other movie, I haven't mentioned the other movie I watched. And I should have mentioned it because it's the most fun comedy I've watched probably this year. And it stars Kristen Wiig, and it's one of those movies that got lost during the recent pandemic unpleasantness. And by the way, Adam, you're right. The Silent Partner is a great one. Original National Lampoon's Vacation. That's been tarnished for me because I found out how much of a shit Chevy Chase has been for the last 40 years. Last 50 years, come to think of it. But this comedy, starring Kristen Wiig, is called Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, which is a story about these two middle-aged besties who get the sack from their job working in a furniture store and decide to go on a vacation to this Florida resort, not knowing that the resort is going to be attacked by an evil woman who has had somebody genetically engineer a horde of lethal mosquitoes. And it's a kind of cross between a buddy comedy and Stella gets her groove back and a kind of spy movie. It's got Austin Powers vibes as well. And yes, this live stream is truly live. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Lots of great comedy. And Kristen Wiig and the other woman, I think her name is Anne Mumolo, are fantastic. They've been writing partners for years. And Jamie Dornan, who is the Timu version of Henry Cavill, is great in Barb and Star, Bended. It's a great comedy. I really enjoyed it. Uh, I heard about it because it's one of Margot Robbie's favorite movies, which is really like weird, but yeah. But Barb and Star is a comedy you should definitely see. Solid comedy. There's a dual role for Kristen Wiig because she plays the evil woman who is trying to destroy this one beachside resort because of a childhood trauma. It's really it's so meta and fun and transgressive in a very subtle way. But the characters are very endearing. The comedy's great. It's just a lot of feel good fun. Middle Aged Geek Girl hasn't watched it yet, but Ben Ed recommended Middle Aged Geek Girl that you should watch it. Middle Aged Geek Girl says, "Don't watch the TV series of Chucky though; it's horrendous." I wasn't inclined to. Much as I love Brad Dourif, I don't think I want to watch a TV series about Chucky because I don't have enough interest in that. But yeah, so I kind of looked at the Christmas movies coming up. Adam says Ronin is slightly a Christmas movie set if people want a bit of action, fun times. Yeah, Ronin's a great movie. I like Ronin. It's got that beautiful Reme Julien car chase stuff in it. Peter says the only Christmas movie I like is The Grinch, mainly because I'm a fan of Taylor Momsen, who plays Cindy Lou. Oh, Frosty says middle-aged good girl. Yeah, Die Hard's still my go-to, and Harold and Kumar, because I love Danny Trejo wearing a Christmas sweater. And the Harold and Kumar one is fun. Trading Places, yep, a Christmas revenge movie. Jamie Lee Curtis does look great and does get unclad in that movie, admittedly. But yeah, Christmas movies are such a wide thing now. But I do like Shane Black Christmas movies because they're all action films, including Iron Man 3, which I think is the underrated Iron Man movie. I like the arc of Tony Stark having PTSD because, he basically pushed a bloody nuke through a wormhole into outer space and, yeah, elfing scalper scumbags. Yeah. Vinegar Syndrome, limited edition case of the Keep, was dropped on Black Friday, sold out. Copies have been surfacing on eBay for crazy money. Yeah, I mean, I never understood the love of the Keep. I think it's interesting, but it's got this cult following, whereas it's not particularly a great movie. But yeah, there is some interesting stuff coming out too over Christmas. I should mention that. Not in the cinema, but I know there's a really good box set of the Never-Ending Story that's coming out over Christmas. I'm trying to remember whether it's Umbrella or Imprint who are putting it out. Hi, Emmy, how you doing? But yeah, there are some great releases from Umbrella and Imprint coming out on disc over the holiday season and into next year as well. I just got the list of review copies that I can get from Umbrella, and so there's a lot of good stuff there, including a 4K of Eyes Without a Face, the George Franju horror movie. Adam says imprint it costs a mint. Yeah, it can do. Cheaper where I am, but imprint is just releasing so much good stuff. There'll be months with the imprint stuff where everything is in my jam. There are months when it isn't, and there are a whole bunch of 80s dramas that I'm not 100% in love with. But I think they are really good at finding deep cuts in the same way that Umbrella is. Middle-aged Geek Girl says, the never-ending story is the cause of most Gen X trauma. No, I think the cause of most Gen X trauma is boomer parents. Dean says, I just watched online Alien Romulus. What a mess. It looks like they put all the prior Alien films in a blender, dragged the contents, and vomited it into a bucket. I haven't seen Alien Romulus. To be honest with you, I'm not that in love with the Alien franchise. I like the Predator franchise a lot more because the Alien franchise, the monster does a few things, but there's no real nuance into it. And Alien itself, and this is a controversial take, and I'm willing to take bullets on this, is basically a haunted house movie set on a spaceship. Janet says, for us, we did Captain Newman MD and Holiday Affair with Janet Leigh and Robert Mitchum. Happy New Year with Lino Ventura and Francois Fabian. Haven't heard of Happy New Year, but I do like a bit of Lino Ventura, one of the great tough guy actors who doesn't get a lot of love. Not a Hero 911 says, sorry, I've started my Christmas celebrating early, so I may be a little drunk. Got no problem with that. Just hydrate after you finish. Emily says, my favourite Christmas movies take place over the 12 days of the holidays. Metropolitan by Whit Stillman, Comfort and Joy by Bill Forsyth, and Dinah. Yeah, I can see that. They're honest choices. I've got friends and real life friends who are on Facebook as well, who watch all of the Hallmark Christmas movies and then have a great time and a fun time bitching about them on Facebook and other social media. I'm not going to watch them because they're going to bore the shit out of me, but I can see that as a kind of path for people to take. Alien has mystery though. What does the alien want? What will it do? It will reproduce. That's it. Basically, it's a haunted house movie where the monster wants to make babies in you. Middle-aged geek girl says, "You got friends?" Yes, I have friends, middle-aged geek girl, and you know it because we go out and have lunch and dinner with some of them. My friend Alyssa is mad about Hallmark movies. Aliens is a good sequel because it changes genre. Absolutely frightening. I mean, that's the exception. Is it becomes a solid military in space action film. But Alien sequels, I mean, tell me a new story. Give me a new monster. Show me something that reflects and the scary things about our contemporary era. which is why movies like They Live really hit, because in the Reagan era in America, They Live hit all of the soft spots of contemporary culture. Our consumerism, capitalism, rich people doing egregious things. That's why it lasts now. That's why I've got it on 4K, come to think of it. But movies like They Live and other good horror movies really reflect contemporary fears and concerns. Peter says franchises tend to dilute the gene pool of what often starts out as a good idea: Alien, Star Wars, Fast and Furious, etc. Yeah, they milk the cash cow till it becomes beef jerky. They sell the jerky and then complain that no one wants to buy the bones. Not a hero, not you didn't like the Deacon. What's the Deacon? Uh, Not a hero. 9/11. I saw They Live in the movies. Never was among the more uncomfortable theatre audiences in all my life. Fair enough. And he says Alien Romulus is just recycled dialogue and scenes from the franchise. Inevitably going to happen because, to be honest with you, the Alien franchise doesn't have a lot of meat on the bone these days, which is a bit of a shame, but that's the way it is. The Deacon is a form of proto-alien. Yeah, I can understand that because, preachers are known to be predatory. But, yeah, I think this is part of the live stream. When I start an AMA, so people can ask me questions, ask me anything about movies, ask me personal stuff, and I'll filter out what I tell you. But I'm happy to kind of start answering things. And also, super chats are available. I've got to mention that because for middle-aged geek girl does. So what is it? It's 8:10 a.m. in the morning here, and I promised middle-aged geek girl I'd take her out for a muffin and a coffee after we do this because that's how I pay her. Lee says Romulus seemed wasted somehow. It's basically milking the franchise, and that annoys me. I would rather see 100 original small films like Barb and Starco to Vista Del Mar than see another iteration of a tired franchise, which is the interesting thing that the Predator franchise did. When Prey came out, they took the monster into a totally different culture and a totally different era and refreshed the shit out of it. Prey is a good movie. That's another one I did get on 4K because it's a solid action film and expands the universe in which it's placed. Have I seen Nectronic? Yeah, I did. It's not bad. It's kind of good for low budget. Nectronic's a bit of fun. Dean says, "Oh, this is a season for repetitive storyline Hallmark Christmas movies. Nothing wrong with formula movies, but yeah." Evil Pixie 96 says most of the Alien franchises rely on at least one character being stupid, not the first two movies. Yeah, I mean that takes me out of horror movies a lot. There's even Halloween, the original Halloween, where Jamie Lee Curtis's character drops the knife next to Michael Myers after she thinks she's killed him. I would not be putting anything anywhere near it. That kind of stuff, yeah, it makes me feel less about the protagonist when the protagonist does willfully stupid things because you've just been attacked by whatever. You're going to be hyper vigilant and doing stupid stuff. Don't like it. I like it when protagonists do smart stuff, like Sarah Connor in all of the Terminator movies learns through her experiences with the Terminators and becomes what she needs to be to prevail. I like that, but I don't like dumb decisions made by protagonists in these kind of movies. Adam says, I thought Prey was mid. Romulus is slightly better than mid. No, I kind of like Prey, and I like the culture change there, which works. And strong female protagonists are great fun for me. And increasingly, I'm tired of seeing stories about middle-aged guys doing stuff. Die Hard aside, I like seeing movies from a different viewpoint, like The Substance, very female-oriented movie, which I'm totally there for. And I saw Revenge, which is Coralie Fargett's previous movie, which is a kind of very contained revenge film, which fantastic stuff. If you haven't seen Revenge, you got to check that movie out. Adam says Romulus has a bit of class oppression angle. Yeah, I'm cynical about class warfare done by billionaire corporations. It feels a bit like reducing the pressure rather than putting it on, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm trying to work out too, what should I watch next? Because there's tons of stuff I've got, and you kind of, you got an enormous stack, slightly shorter than the Burj Khalifa of movies to watch, and it's always hard to pick the one you want to watch next. Dean says, isn't there some Predator or Alien that's being produced for Hulu for next summer? Possibly. I hope it's a good one, particularly if it's a Predator movie. I do like that franchise a lot more than I like the Alien franchise. Friday says, plus Prey has the option to be sold to the History Channel as a documentary. Yeah. There's also a version of it done in, I don't know whether it's Lakota or one of the First Nations languages of America, but I think there's a dub or a subtitle version in First Nations language. Adam says, don't watch the new Street Trash or Rumors, both awful. Thanks for the advice on that one. Yeah, and the thing is that stuff that's coming out in cinemas I'm not interested in. Mufasa I'm not interested in because the original Lion King stole from Kimba the White Lion. The Tetsuo Osamu's original anime was egregiously stolen by Disney to make the Lion King. And I will never watch a Lion King movie for that reason. Stealing from Kimba the White Lion is just somewhere I don't think people should go. And of course, Disney historically has stolen stories from other cultures a lot. That reminds me of the Disney story of the wedding. Went to one of middle-aged good girls. Dean says, have I changed my style of beard? I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't, Dean. I can do this with this. We'll just see where we go with it. I have changed it a bit. Anyway, middle-aged good girl and I went to a cousin's wedding. And it was in a Catholic church, which is not our jam at all. And so we're in this Catholic church in the northern suburbs. And they've got one of those kind of 40-ish, trying to be hip as fuck priests doing the service. So he decides he's going to do the preachy bit, and starts talking about Disney princesses as a metaphor for marriage. And the one he chooses is Pocahontas. And middle-aged gig girl and I look at each other and go, does this guy know that the real Pocahontas was stolen from her culture and died at the age of 22 because she was put into a culture where she had no immunity to any of their diseases and was assaulted by a whole bunch of people and had a really shit life? No, he just decided he was going to use that. Yeah, Disney princesses are problematic unless it's Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror. But yeah, we went to the wedding and yeah, the food was actually not too good at the reception, and they watered down the cocktails. The catering there needed to be lined up by the back wall and shot. Not a great wedding, but the Christian stuff and the Catholic stuff in that church was weird, to say the least. Anybody gone to a really crap wedding? I went to one where 2 weeks out, it was at Hilton Park. This is years and years ago. I went to a wedding park, nice couple, beautiful woman, handsome guy. 3 weeks later, the wife left the husband for a veterinarian. So you never know with weddings; they're a dice roll. Adam says, never stint on the booze. Absolutely. Middle-aged geek girl and I got married at the park down the end of the street that I'm on now. And we had the reception in our backyard here. And it was a lot of fun. People had a great time. The food was okay. We didn't stint on the booze. We had my father-in-law as the bartender, along with my friend Rose. With good vibes. Carol says, hey, Terry, Disney and the priest glossed over the fact Pocahontas was 12 as well. Yeah, all of that. And, I was tempted to go up and kind of disabuse him with this notion that Pocahontas was a good analogy for marriage. But I thought, no, I'm not going to bother. Don't care enough about this guy or about what he does or his career path to really do anything but make this into an anecdote for a live stream. Hi, Paul. Paul from Illinois here. Just watched the 27 science fiction movie Photon on YouTube. Blown away, even without understanding half of the dialogue. Polish with subtitles. Haven't seen it, but I am writing that down. Thanks a lot for that, Paul. Always up for recommendations, mate. And thank you for being in the channel, being part of the live stream.